It can be hard when you grow up. People fill you with doubt. You start thinking about what you're gonna do now. And it's do or die, gotta make it count. So lose your worries, let your problems go on until my whole body burns out. I ain't never gonna slow down. I ain't never gonna slow down.
Welcome everyone, this is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about a primal mindset. Now the primal mindset is going to be a new concept. I'm sure people have talked about the primal instinct before, but the primal mindset that has come with the primal instinct, or maybe that has came with that primal instinct, is now gone. Maybe in a sense, it has been extinct or has become extinct because most people are thinking more into the modern mindset. Now, this modern mindset can be a good thing, especially in our modern world, because we are going to be going with the flow. However, our primal mindset had something very specific that can help us in our days, reach our potential and our goals. This is going to be the primal mindset. Now, we're not thinking about so much of we need to go back into having the lifestyle of the primal mindset, but the primal mindset, the necessities that it has given us, life, security, the idea of survival. This is where the primal mindset comes in, and it's something that many people don't think about today. We are not so much in a war state here in the West. I know there's going to be places like in Israel, Gaza, Russia, and Ukraine. There are many war zones around the world. Then there's going to be zones that are full of poverty. What is happening in those areas is more of a survival type instinct or survival type mindset. They're getting more into the primal mindset. But primal doesn't only mean survival. It means strength. It means confidence, security once more. So I wrote a whole entire blog on this, the primal mindset unleashing latent strength and confidence in the modern world. So let's take a look at that and how it can help change your life. All right, everyone, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to share the video and or audio to help build a community of like-minded individuals, maybe individuals who have a primal mindset. Now, as I said, there is nothing wrong with having a growth mindset, necessarily a fixed mindset, if you want to have one of those, or a modern mindset. Now, having a modern mindset in a modern world just makes sense. However, we do have to look at our roots sometimes to make sure that they are grounded, to make sure we understand where we have come from. What happens in life is many people, they forget history. And you know what happens if people forget history? History repeats itself. So we know that there's a circle to this. There's a circle to everything we do, to our life, our circumstances. There is a circle. I've talked about this before. Tough times create strong men create easy times create weak men, and weak men create tough times. This is the circle, right? And history tends to repeat itself if you forget somewhere in history. Now, those are just 4 points in a life cycle of generation that we can see. We have gone from tough times to easy times, from easy times to prosperous times, from prosperous times to tough times, and then those tough times again, making us strong. We can see the cycle. However, in our life, in our day-to-day mayhem, if you want to call it that, or whatever you want to call it, in our modern world is so busy. We can get so wrapped up in everything that we forget what truly matters, our potential, what we can do today versus what will we do today. This is where the modern mindset has failed us, and where the primal mindset is going to come in and help us fill in the gaps. So here in this article, this blog that I've wrote, I talk about the idea of survival. I talk about the idea of strength and confidence that the primal mindset gives us. However, today we're going to be giving ourselves a different focus in the blog. We are going to keep in line with the primal mindset, but everything you need to know about the primal mindset is in this blog, and I encourage you to read it. We do need to look at what does primal mindset mean. A primal mindset is all about problem solving versus, okay, I'm going to look for something or someone to solve my problems. There's a big difference there. The difference so much is if I'm looking for someone to solve my problems, I'm looking for the quick fix, that's easy on me. But for the primal mindset, we have to do the work, and it can be a struggle. That's going to be where we go. I talk about it briefly in the article. However, we do need to look at all aspects of primal mindset, and I encourage you to read this blog because it goes into more detail. I'm only going to be touching on one of the several different topics and thought patterns that you can be developing with this article. The reason is a primal mindset is very deep. It's like when I'm talking about the different types of mindsets, whether it be fixing growth, that's like one episode. If I talk about the 3 layers of the mind, the unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious, that right there, I can fit into one episode, but it's going to be a longer episode. But for the primal mindset, we can just say primal mindset and modern mindset, that's one episode. But the nuances that I share with you in this article is several episodes long. So that's why I'm not going to use this as my resource today. But it is going to be a resource for you and at your disposal. RevenConcepts.com. The link is in the description box below. Check out this blog now. But let's get into the difference. Primal mindset and modern mindset. What is the difference and what do we need to know? So as I said, there is a difference between the primal mindset and the modern mindset. And the primal mindset is going to be focused on, let's see what I need in order to make my life as simple as possible. But guess what? It's not always simple, because the skills that we had before 100 years ago, I mean, if we want to not even go as far back as when we are cavemen and women, this is going to be a huge shift in our mindset, because how we had to live just 100 years ago. Okay. We're in the 1920s right now. And now we have to look at people, I think, are just getting electricity in all the homes. Appliances like fridges and stuff are going to be coming up in the next couple of years. These are going to be the ideas of how we can make life a lot easier, instead of just putting salt on our meat and preserving it, or having to go out into the fields and milk the cows every day. Now we just go to the grocery store, and they had grocery stores back then in the 1920s. But now we're getting away from the more, I guess you can say, off the grid living and more into the city living. This is going to be the inception of making life a lot easier. Transportation, flying and stuff, and communication. There is a lot of changes happening in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. So these next 30 years, a huge technology shift is happening. And in this shift, we can see what's truly going to happen, or maybe not see what's truly going to happen. Most people in this time are seeing the advances, and the older generations are saying, well, in my day, we had to do this by hand. We didn't have running water in the house. We had to go out to the well, and we had to get the water we needed for cooking. This was reality. Now, I'm talking about the West, because there are still places in the world that have this rural type of living where they have to go get the well, or they have no Wi-Fi, or they sleep outside in the jungle. There are so many places in the world that have not reached our level of technology, right? So they call it first world, second world, or third world places, right? So if you're in a first world country, You have all the amenities, all the greatnesses, but then if you go to certain places in the world, it could be an eye-opening experience. Go to Africa, for example, they might not have running water. They might not have clean water. They might have to hunt for their food. They can't just go to the grocery store, go up and down the aisles and pick out what they need. They have to go forage and scavenge for their food and hunt for their food. There are still places like that. And there's still places in America where people do that. Think of hunting season. Do they have to do it? Maybe, right? Maybe you don't have enough money, so hunting is going to be the means of how you feed yourself. But most people are able to get the goods they need in order to survive. When we have the primal mindset within us, we actually all have the primal mindset within us, but it doesn't become activated unless we need it, because we're living in a plush society. As I said, if we don't have any problems, why would we even worry? Why would we worry about where we're going to get our food when we can just go to a fast food spot or we can go to the grocery store? It's not a worry for us. So our mindset is modern. Why would we worry about something that is readily available? Well, we would only worry about these things if they become scarce or they become not readily available. I'm sure in your lifetime, especially if you're around my age, if you might be in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, etc., all the way up, you will know that, especially if you live in a state or a region that gets snow, the mayhem that happens when the weather person says, there's going to be a blizzard, better stock up. Guess what? People are running to the store. They're getting bread, milk, eggs, flashlights, batteries. They're getting everything. Shovels, ice, salts, and stuff like that. Because they have to be equipped in the event they can't leave the home or leave the house, right? This is a worry for these individuals. They worry. They say, oh, we can't leave the house for a day. Let's make sure we have enough food and we have enough provisions. This is what they prepare for. Yet, most houses today just naturally have all of those goods. You probably have enough rice and beans to take care of you, water, running water in your home. You don't necessarily have to run out all of the time to get what you need. But yet, this mindset, when something is happening, some danger is happening, a survival situation is happening, we panic. And so when we do that, we revert to our primal mindset of scarcity, where things are scarce, I have to make sure I have enough, or I have to go out and get what I need in order to survive. Our modern mindset is no longer there because we're trying to make sure we're going to be good for this storm, however long it takes. And I remember one time, this was when I was doing my student teaching, they had a Frankenstorm or something. It was the craziest thing because everyone was like, oh, just a snowstorm. It's going to be another storm. And then some people are like, this is going to be the biggest storm of the century. And it was crazy. During that time, I think school was closed for like a week. And it was the craziest thing because what had happened and what made the storm so bad wasn't the 49 inches of snow, or in some areas it was like 53 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. And it took me 16 hours to shovel all of this snow because I had to do the front and the back driveway, and my car was in the back driveway. If I had known any better, I probably would have parked in the front driveway and then let the snow melt eventually. But c'est la vie, right? Live and learn is what my grandma used to say. This is where we get to make some progress now because we are now living in dire straits. What do? There was only one lane on the streets. Snow plows were getting stuck. There was just so much snow. We weren't ready. They had to bring in bobcats and trucks to get rid of all of the snow. Guess what people started to get? Cabin fever. We live in a modern world. We had internet. We have running water. We have heat in our house. We have all the necessities to live. Yet our brain does not like to be inside. It does not like to be locked up. But yet our modern mindset at that time, this is 2012, 2013, around there, our mindset at the time was still keen on freedom, still keen on traveling and existing. But we fast forward our life now to pandemic 2020, right? I understand COVID 2019, but the lockdowns really happened in 2020, where we had to be locked up in our homes for 3 months or something along those lines, and they wanted to do more. People readily accepted it, like, oh, but we got to do it because of safety and security. Now, there was some people who developed cabin fever, but it wasn't to the extent of my 4 or 5 day in my house because of the snow. 3 and 4 and 5 days is nothing compared to 3 months. And yet people were just there. Yeah, I got my Netflix. Yeah, I can go exercise at home. And they were just doing things, living normally, or what appeared to be normal at the time. But yet our primal mindset is telling us to get out. Our primal mindset is telling us that we need to have the courage that in order for us to exist in life, we cannot be afraid of what's around the corner, what's in the bush, what is uncertain. Yet, if someone sneezes, we're running in the other direction. Our primal mindset has changed. Our primal mindset used to be if the bush start, shaking, or we heard a noise in the bush, we got our spares. If you had guns at the time, they got their guns and they started to check to see what was in the bush. Now we know from movies, you should just run in the other direction. It's probably like the boogeyman or something, and you shouldn't be anywhere near it. However, the primal mindset is, I have equipped myself with whatever I can to ensure that if something in the bush was going to harm me, I could fight back. Yet today, we look, but we don't arm ourselves. We are, for lack of better words, ignorant. We're just inexperienced. We don't have the skills anymore. But the primal mindset brings about a lot of good things. We are living in a modern world. We know this. Do you need a primal mindset? You do not need a primal mindset. But a primal mindset definitely can change your life. How can a primal mindset change your life? This is where we get into the good conversation. Because a primal mindset is going to give you the confidence. It's going to elevate you, your skills, what you know, what you don't know. All of these different things are going to help fill in all of the gaps and all of the holes of your life. Because most of us are just incomplete versions of our true self. And that means if we are not the complete version of ourselves, how can we become the person that we were destined to be? Because living in a modern world, it stops us, it limits us from truly reaching our true potential. Because if we were born to be hunters, yet we don't have to hunt anymore, we are not reaching our true potential. If we have been born to be able to fight colds and we have been created to go through all of this adversity that we can be facing in our life, yet if we get a bad review on Google, this is the end of the world. If someone likes our picture, we're like, yay. If someone doesn't like our picture, we're like, no. Where have we gone? Yet our primal mindset, we didn't necessarily care about these things. If you didn't like me, oh well. My circle is all about survival. My circle is all about let's make our life better, and we develop communities. Our modern mindset today is all about solidarity. How can I do this by myself? And many people think they can do this by themselves because we have given ourselves this technology. We have given ourselves this lifestyle. You don't need another person, yet everything that you have in life is going to be a proponent of people working together. The roads you drive on, built by people. The grocery store that you go to, run by people. There's workers there at the grocery store. And if not, there's going to be people stocking the shelves. I know there's like automatic stuff where you can go in and just pay automatically. Guess what? There's not machines that walk in and stock those shelves. There's an employee that does that. There's someone who does that, who makes those sandwiches and stuff like that, right? This is all done by people. When you go to the grocery store, The food that you see on the shelf is a proponent of people, the truck drivers that bring the food to the store. If there's no truck drivers, there's no food in your grocery store. We can see that in France. You go into grocery stores, and some grocery stores, and they're just empty. They're desolate. And yet, people don't know what to do. But they start reverting back to that primal mindset. How can I survive? How can I grow? Because what's happening right now is not going to be enough to sustain my lifestyle. And most people, they want to sustain the lifestyle that they give themselves. The issue is they do not have the skills to maintain the lifestyle that they have. Because once the system starts to fail, they are not able to keep their modern way of living. So the primal mindset is going to be, regardless of your situation, you can maintain your level of lifestyle that you currently have. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be the same, because you might have to go out and hunt a deer or something, and you have to learn how to skin it. There might not be technology. This is primal survival. Survival of the fittest, they say. Yet many people today, they're not fit. I'm not even talking about being in shape fit. I'm talking about mindset fit. They don't have the mental fortitude. We just talked about that. They don't have the skills and the knowledge. Everything is based on what is trending, what is popular, versus what was the foundation. So our great-grandfathers and forefathers, those men and women, they built, I guess you can say, our lifestyle up. One of the things that many parents do unconsciously is that they say they want to give their kids a better life. Typically, that's what happens. So they want to make life easier, but not so much easier that they become weak. Technology will do that. Modern society will do that. Society in general will do that. That will make us weak. However, we want to make life easier. Think of it as, well, we used to do everything by hand, but now we have a donkey pushing the cart, or we have an ox helping to plow the fields when we used to have to do it by hand. We become more efficient. We become more effective. And with that time that we gain, because if you think about 24 hours in a day, we might have needed to spend 10, 12 hours on the field or in the field on the farm. Guess what? Now we might have cut that in half, and now we only need maybe 6 to 8 hours. This right here is going to be a huge time gaining that we get. That those 4 hours, what do? Well, like we can just go play pickleball. We can go run in the fields. We can go swimming. We can do those things. But guess what? Technology becomes even better. We can do less work in less time. Now we can get all the work done that we used to get done maybe in 4 hours now. What in the world are we going to do with 8 extra hours? Well, we're going to eventually start to waste them. And this is what the modern mindset did. We started to waste our time. What needs to happen is, if we get back to the primal mindset, we start to learn that our time is precious and that things can take some time. Even though we can do things very quickly right now, we do just the one task, versus if there was multiple things to do and it took this long to do it, we tried to do as much as we could as fast as we could. But today, it's what is the bare necessity? What is the minimum? What do I just need in order to survive? And this is where we are. And this is the difference between a primal mindset and a modern mindset. Many people live with just enough. Many people, they fall into the rat race of always needing just enough or always getting just enough. And I'm telling you that you cannot only survive, but you could thrive. This is more so of, we have come from a place that has been built on hardship, on difficulty, on doing things the hard way. And now that we have things done the easier way, we have all of this time that we waste. But if we use the primal mindset instead of our modern mindset, we would see that the fact that we have so much left to do, that we would do the things that matter the most, versus the things that don't matter, the things that feel comfortable, because we have not trained ourselves to look at the necessities. We only look at the frivolous things in life, phones, the technology, right? What makes us feel good, not what is going to help us become better anymore. You might give yourself an idea of a career, of an aspiration, but it is not a true primal mindset. It's the modern mindset. Most kids, especially today, they think about education. I have to go to college. I have to go to college. And they get off this debt, but there's no purpose. They just kind of go blindly. They are following modern times. Education is a great tool, a great resource, but today is so readily available. You don't necessarily have to go to college unless you're going into a profession that requires it. Maybe you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. Those are going to typically require some level of education, and if not education, some type of test that you have to take. And from there, you can go into the profession that you desire. A primal mindset is not so much of looking at our modern way of living of, well, if I want to be a doctor, I have to be educated. It's more of, if I want to learn how to be the best person I can be in my life, I have to enhance my personal skills. There's a big difference in the thinking. One is I need to enhance my skills to be a better person. And the other one is I need to get a level of knowledge so I can do the work that I want to do. There's a big difference in the way of thinking. In this blog article, we go into depth into the primal mindset and the modern mindset and what it truly did and what it truly does. I encourage everyone to check out Primal Mindset, Unleashing Latent Strength and Confidence in the Modern World, because what I have been talking about is that we need to get back to strength. We need to get back to confidence. We need to get back to problem solving, because if we think about it, most people, if they have a problem, they go to Google. Hey, Google, can you help me with my problem? Yes, Google can probably give you the right direction. Guess what? If you need help, you can go to a group on Reddit or a Facebook group, and they can give you the support that you need. And this is all great stuff. This is what technology has done. But when we're trying to do things for ourselves, when we're trying to go after our dreams and we're trying to go against the standards that have been given to us or we have fallen into, the primal mindset is going to be the trump card that makes you succeed. More people are fat today because they have a modern mindset, not because they have a primal mindset. Primal mindset is about going out, getting what's yours, being mentally and physically fit. From there, we make progress. We make sure that the critical components in our life are going to be working. This is the primal mindset. Versus if something is not working, we go, oh well, or we just say YOLO, and this is our modern mindset. It's not going to be helpful for helping us reach and fulfill our full potential, because fear is always going to be a proponent to a modern mindset. I don't want to lose my current way of living, so they only stay in what's comfort because they think if I do something more than what I can or what I have the skill for, I could lose it all. Versus the primal mindset is, I have built this house I live in. I have the skills to build another house. If my house burns down today, I will build another house. Versus many people say, I have given myself a lifestyle that does not give me the skills to build a house. It does not give me the understanding that if something bad happens to me, it's the world's at fault. This right here is a lack of our skills and our potential. From there, we need to start to make big strides to figuring out our instinctual strength versus our base knowledge that we have been given, because everyone has an ego in the modern world and we all believe we know everything. But when you give yourself a bit of humility, we don't necessarily have half the skills of what our ancestors did. And knowing that we lack a huge amount of skills, we can begin to bridge the gap between our skill level and what we should be going for in life. Because it is simple to say, oh, building a house, you just get some wood, you get some nails, and everything works out. Maybe I'm going to watch a YouTube video and maybe you build a house. They have these prefab built houses now where it's just like Legos and you put them together. It still requires skill. Have you ever tried to put IKEA furniture together with no directions? Good luck. Now we're trying to figure out, do we even have the skills to do that? This is where the primal mindset and the modern mindset vary so greatly. In the primal mindset, the component that you should be looking at is the skills and potential that you can be gaining. Because it's easy to not build a skill up when everything can be done for you so easily and readily. A lot of people are entry level still, yet they have so much opportunity in front of them. They have not used their hands to craft. They have not used their hands to build. They have not enhanced their mindset to go through the cold, to go through the struggle. Think of like the cold baths and stuff. Some people do the ice baths. It is all to help with mental fortitude and to help dive deep into their primal mindset. We have come too close to comfort, and it's like a moth to the flame. Eventually, we're going to get burned. But if we can choose to go toward that dark points in our life or the dark alley of mindset, where it's that primal old version of ourselves, guess what? We can utilize that and we can grow from it. If you have a washing machine or something and your washing machine breaks, the easiest thing to do is to get a new washing machine. But if you can't do that, you go to the laundromat. And if you can't do that, you wash it by hand. We have reverted now all the way back. Well, we have to wash clothes by hand now. This is, in a sense, what primal mindset is. But there is a caveat now. What I want you to do with this primal mindset is, now that you know you can wash clothes by hands instead of the washing machine or the laundromat, right, going over there, understand that it might take you, let's say, an hour to wash all of your clothes and to hang them up, right? Maybe an hour, maybe longer. But the washer machine automatically goes an hour. Then the dryer goes automatically for about 30, 45 minutes, right? Those are going to be your 2 hours. However, it didn't require any skill, maybe a little bit of knowledge pressing a button, but no skill. What do we do with that time of passiveness? The machine is doing all the work for us. We're not building muscle. We're not building our skill. We literally are vegetables during those 2 hours. We're waiting. We're waiting until the machine is done. Now, some, not everyone, you might be productive. You might go grocery shopping. You might go do yoga. You might go to the gym. There are people who do things productive. But the majority of people wait until the machine stops. They'll be on their phone, watch a movie, whatever it be, because our modern mindset is not in line with our primal mindset. We have lost the idea of the time. If it took 2 hours to do something and we don't have to be hands-on anymore because we have now a modern mindset, why not use those 2 hours to our benefit? We have given it away to be frivolous once more. So this means we should be tapping into our primal mindset, but then applying modern mindsets to it also. And how much time do we get in our day? I guarantee you're not going to be saying you don't have any more time not to go to the gym. You're not going to have any time to start a business. You're going to stop giving yourself those excuses because you're going to start to find more time. Because if we go back again just 100 years, it doesn't even have to be when we were cavemen. Things were more challenging for them. Things took longer, but yet they were able to do more. Why were they able to do more? Because their mindset was primed to do more rather than to not do more, rather than to wait, rather than to remain complacent, rather than to remain limited, rather than to remain still. So we have a potential today to tap into that primal mindset, to go after the idea and the skill sets that we are going to be able to do more in our day. We all have 24 hours. they used to do, and people used to do so much more in their day. They would go do this and they would do that. And now you show people the videos and stuff that happened 100 years ago. And they go, how do they have all this time to do that? Yet, our life is easier today, but we have made it more complicated. So you have a choice. Do you stay in the modern mindset, or do you start to build your primal mindset again, mix the two together, and then become more effective? Ideally, you would want to utilize the strengths of the primal mindset and all of the nuances of the modern mindset in the modern world to your benefit. Many people, they just live in one or the other. So mix both together, and then you start to get magic. We need to be more confident. We need to bring back critical thinking. We need to start to raise our skill sets and not be these people who are just adept at the keyboard. Because if we ever got hit by EMP or some type of technology crash, most people wouldn't know what to do. Most people wouldn't know how to survive. We can see that in any natural disaster. People don't know what to do. People struggle. People are fighting for their life. Yet, if you had the skills, if you had the knowledge, if you did what was necessary for you to not live in the modern world and for you to be self-sufficient, you would have found, or you will find, that you don't necessarily need to be like everyone else trying to figure out what needs to be done. You already know what to do. You have given yourself the skills. So raise your skills, raise the bar, give yourself some more challenge in your life. Understand that though you have more time in your day because technology makes your life a lot easier, you can take a car or a bus to your location instead of walking. There is a lot more time in our day, but yet we do so little. If you want to do more, if you want to change your mindset, begin that process today. Whether it be with us here at Reven Concepts, reach out to us, revenconcepts.com. We'll be more than happy to help walk you through this process. This is a process that can be a bit tricky because you are always giving yourself of this idea of, I don't have enough time. And typically on our first session, we're like, yeah, you have time. And I will show you how much time you have. And it's always mind blowing. It's like, oh, I didn't know I had that much time. So let's use that to our benefit, because the primal mindset brings about great things. The modern mindset has brought about great things, but it also brings about things that are not going to be helping us flourish in life. So we need to start to flourish again. We need to start to make moves, and we need to start to be the best version of ourselves we can be. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, reach out to us here at Reven Concepts. Email me, coachinginsession@gmail.com. More than happy to help anyone who is ready and willing to change their mindset. Until the next episode, everyone take care.